Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I am going to go over the cryptocurrency market. I'm going to talk about a couple things today, Ethereum and Dogecoin. I'll go over Dogecoin with you guys real quick. Start looking for a setup in Dogecoin on the long side potentially, and then we're going to go over short. We're going to go over a short on Ethereum. In case you wouldn't know, always talk about longs. This is just too good. I think it's too, I don't want to say too good, but it's a pretty decent opportunity with Ethereum. If you guys so want to go ahead and place a short on Ethereum, remember it could be a very bullish asset and it might not go as planned, but I'm taking a look at this, guys. You know, this is on the 8-hour chart. You see how high that is on the RSI. Now, could it keep going and going? It could, but I'm expecting a correction on something right here with this on Ethereum. So I started layering in about 1630, 1640 on Ethereum. Okay. So let's just make this simple. One of the things you want to do with Ethereum is you want to check your stats. Okay, on the higher the time frame, the better when you do this. Okay, particularly right now since Ethereum could be correcting and going bullish like so. We don't know yet. There's a lot of bearish signals in there, so you can go from this peak to this peak. So you see from here to here, you have hidden bearish divergence. However, one thing you want to be aware of, if the sequence is complete, okay, so let's say Ethereum finishes correction right there, this is a whole new sequence. So this area of the RSI has less validity, if you will, to this side, okay, because it did its correction, it's complete, now it's on to something new. It could have done a wave 1, come back 2, and then to a 3, even though this RSI is much higher than it is over here, okay? But if this is still part of the whole sequence, then this definitely, so let's say this is the downtrend. We know, let's say we know for 100% sure that this is the downtrend on Ethereum. You can never know 100%, or we don't know if it started something new and it's going up and it's in a new uptrend. But let's just assume that right now that Ethereum's in a downtrend. We're going to assume that. I'm not saying that it is. We don't know. My suspicion is that it's probably in a new trend and it's just struggling to get out of there because of the macro environment. But let's assume then this bearish divergence would have a lot more power, if you will, because it's part of that same trend. It's telling you, okay, we're going to continue to go down. Okay. However, if it's in a new trend and it finishes correction right there, the hidden bearish divergence is not going to be as strong to this because this is just new and it's starting a new wave. Okay. So, but it's still a signal that you don't want to ignore. Okay. So what else? You check it on the 8-hour. I checked on the 8-hour. Okay. So now we have our bearish divergence from that peak to that peak. What does that mean? That means that's a third wave, and more likely that is a fifth wave. That is exactly how, right there, how you find wave sequences, okay? Why? The most momentum is in that third wave, came back down into a fourth, and made that fifth wave. So you can see right here, boom. Now, the other issue that could happen that you want to be aware of is Ethereum could come down into something like this. So don't panic. It can come down at A and go back up to a B and then slam down into a C, okay? You want to be aware of that. It's called the flat, and it's very, very common for bullish assets, even like Ethereum, to come down in an A. Everything's, oh, wow, great, and then blast back up into a B, and people make the assumption that it's still continuing on its trend when it's just doing a correction down, up, and then bam, come down for a C. So you want to be aware of something like that, okay? So what else I'm going to do? I'm going to check in on the 12-hour. You can see I still have bearish divergence on the 12-hour. I probably even have it on the daily. So it's going to be very strong on the daily. You can see from that peak to that peak right there. Okay. So, and then the other thing is too, you want to be aware of on this 8-hour chart is that what exactly is the wave sequence? Don't know yet. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then back here's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to throw a fib extension on Ethereum from that leg to that leg. And just to see, you can see if this is the first wave, potentially, this is a third, which would make sense. And then went up for a fifth. So basically through this whole thing, for me, this is like a nice little perfect impulse for Ethereum. Okay. It had a wide. You can see how this was a shallow and wide wave 2. And then the wave 4 was deep. Okay. Have all these conversations a lot of times where the wave 2 is wide or not as shallow and the wave 4 is deep with cryptocurrencies. And For some reason, there's some information out there that they say that that doesn't happen with cryptocurrencies that often, but I see it all the time. But it hit this 2.72 and went right past it. So more than likely, that whole wave sequence is finished, in my opinion. Okay, so now as far as the amount and type of leverage that you're doing, if you have never done it before, I would not even use any leverage. I would just use it as practice. But the most important thing is going to be even more vital and important with doing a short on Ethereum or an asset like this is that you have to have your mind right. So what you're going to do, this is what you have to practice to get your mind right with the shorts. Don't ever think of the gains that you can make, okay? Until you get to a mindset where it's not emotional for yourself, okay? So when you're thinking about your trade, you're just looking at the numbers, the price, and what's your potential loss, okay? So you entered in on Ethereum at 1640, right? You entered in at 1640, and it's going up. You're just looking at what is it your loss. Don't worry about your gains. Don't be thinking about, oh, what are your gains? Your gains. Forget that. You have to eliminate all of that. You have to eliminate that. Right now, Ethereum is your soldier and you are the general in your short. So you start entering in. It goes up a little bit more. You enter in a little bit more. Okay, as time. So as an example, let's say we want to do $1,000 trade, $1,000 with 5x leverage. Okay, as an example, what am I going to do? What I could do right here, I take $100 at 1630, 5x, throw it in. Boom. Okay, it's in there on trade. I'm not even concerned about it. I don't even know what kind of gains I am going to make. And this, frankly, right now, I don't even care. All I care about is what are my potential losses. That's it. And if it starts coming down and then I want to start taking profits and stuff, I go that route. But right now it's like, what are my losses? Where am I going to enter? Keep entering. It keeps going up. I'm going to enter. Now, if it doesn't keep going up and that was it, and I only get $100 in, so be it. So be it. Don't chase your trade. Don't ever chase your trade. You got your enter in. You didn't put as much as you want in. Don't chase it. Just let it ride. And you go, hey, I screwed it up. There's always going to be another opportunity around the corner. Always, guys. Don't worry about it. There will be another opportunity come around that you'll be able to go back in on another asset or this asset to do it all over again. Okay? That's how you do it. So that's going to be the most key ingredient is that you never think about your gains on your shorts, especially at times like this with Ethereum. You're only thinking about looking at that screen. You're looking at that screen and your numbers that you have in here with Ethereum. And what are your losses? Okay. And then just let the gains come to you. You're letting the gains come to you. You're concentrating on this. This is your soldier and you're the general. And you're like, okay, what is it doing? It's going up, enter in maybe a little bit more. Okay. On your leverage, like $100, it goes back up to 1646. I'll put in a little bit more. $100 maybe. If it goes way up here even more, I still see bearish divergence. I'm like, oh, okay, 200, I'll put 200. Boom. I put in even more. And then get to the point wherever it starts turning around, starts making a correction, you start seeing candles like that, and then you start taking your profits out of there, okay? And you don't ever think, oh, wow, if this thing goes down to from here to here, you know how much money I can make? Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that, okay? So why am I doing this? I'm just hedging my bet right now, okay? So I'm in some long positions, and right here with Ethereum, I have Ethereum coins, guys. I bought Ethereum at $1,000. I have Ethereum coins, but now I'm going to hedge it. I think it's going to come down and make money on the way down a little bit. How much am I going to make? I have no idea. I have no idea. It might only go to here and that's it. Or it might only go to here. That's it. I don't know right now. I don't care. This is my soldier. I'm the general. I'm going to watch this and set myself up and layer into Ethereum to come down. Okay. That's it. Like your mindset has to be more important. You have to practice that mindset. You start at the thinking like, there's no emotion involved at all. If it doesn't go according to plan, you get out and you start all over. Okay. If something's not going right, you just get out and you start all over. Don't let it run. Don't chase it. You just get out. Okay. That's how it has to be done. It's very, once you get to that point and you understand a lot of that, you will have a lot more, I guess you could say, peace with your trade. And then you'll get to the point where you'll have shorts You have multiple shorts at other places. You'd be over here, you know, maybe doing Ethereum, maybe on Bitcoin, maybe on DOT or some other coins out there. And you like kind of go in and it's not a big deal. And you kind of look, oh, how's my trade going? Oh, there it is, you know, on a short or a long. You're like, oh, wow, that's going pretty. And you just look at it and there's no panic. There should never, ever be a panic, guys, ever. Okay. If you're having that, I'll tell you an example. If you're in this thing and you're doing your Ethereum trade, and then you go over to Twitter, and some guy draws a picture of Twitter, and he tells you Ethereum's probably going to 18 or 1900, and you have like this super panic in your mind. You're not set. You're not ready to go. All right. So that's Ethereum, guys, to let you know what I think. It's probably going to do a trek down. Okay. These areas is setting up just really good opportunity. Just see how high that is. Okay. Right there. High. It's highest it's ever been in the 8-hour RSI for multiple weeks. Okay. Multiple weeks back. It was back January 21 back there. Yeah. So you can see right there. So that's why I'm doing that and just hedging my bet a little bit. Not a big deal. I'm not expecting to make a ton of money on it as an example. So back over to Dogecoin. Dogecoin hit my target, guys. I'm looking at this and it's going up. Now, what is it doing here? Third wave more than likely, and it's getting itself set up. So here's what I would do is I was looking at this wave. It could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it might do another one up here. It's not a big deal. Let Dogecoin work this wave out and don't chase it and let it come to you on a correction. More than likely, Dogecoin is going to do some sort of sequence in here and then come back around and you can pick it up and maybe it's going to do another wave potentially. So it's not only is this section going to matter what it does here, it's going to matter what Dogecoin does, comes back around, hits that correction, and then you can write it up. The reason I say it, you take a look at this weekly chart. If you see what Dogecoin does, go back here to the beginning, you can see how it struggled off onto a wave. So it went up on this wave, back down. Here's your third wave. I'm not counting that wick because you can see from this peak to this peak on the weekly, right there is your divergence, okay? And the RSI doesn't count the wicks, by the way. I don't know if you don't know that. The RSI is not going to count the wicks. So you can see highest peak here to there. So there's your divergence between those two. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it took its time to build that wave one base, did a correction, and then you have your third wave blast back down in your fourth, which is nice and deep, and then back on your fifth wave blast. So from here to here is your wave sequence. You're probably in this area right here, come back down, and it might do something like this, back down, up, and then do another correction. So you can see how long to be able to hit one of these on Dogecoin where you go up, let's say 1738%, it could take some time, but this is definitely in an area. So fourth wave. So here's that wave sequence. It comes back down in a correction right here, and you can see it again before it starts its massive wave here. Okay, so it did a correction, more than likely a wave 2 correction, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 went up right in this area, corrected it, and then did its blast. So same little pattern right here and right here. It takes some time. You can see right here, if I check the time on that, that was a long time. That's 413 days, guys. That was over a year that it did that. So this could take a lot of time, actually, now that I think about that. How long did this take? Let's check this out. That took 105 days, okay? So you want to keep that in mind too. So what I would say with Dogecoin is that let's get in a lot of chatter on Twitter right now. It's doing a pump, and it could be here like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it could take some time, and then you want to see that correction with Dogecoin, guys. But the other issue too is obviously it could just blast out of here, and then you could miss it. But that's how I would be looking at Dogecoin. Just let this wave sequence play out, and then let it probably slowly correct. And if it's doing what it did in the past, it's not going to be that deep of a correction. You can see right here and right here. And you could have the same thing right here. Get yourself set up on over the wave over here. It kind of reminds me in a way of XRP maybe a little bit. You know, XRP's over there just moving ever slow, probably building its base for its next wave run that it's doing over there, which will take, it could take, you know, like an asset like XRP, which I don't like it because of that reason. It does its waves real quick, and then it's just a long correction for 2 weeks, 30 days, 60 days, maybe even 90 days, as an example, guys. So if you made it all the way to the end, do me a huge favor. drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.